from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Welcome to the Tuesday edition Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hanniger, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro. Jordan Kinch is back with us in the studio today. And Andy Isco with us from Las Vegas. We do first class, second class, no class. And Derek Stevens will be with us today, owner of Circa in Las Vegas and other places. And they take a kind of a little special interest in, he does, into the College World Series.
He's been going for several years. He's tried to grow the I think that Circa offers the biggest limits during the course of the season and the postseason for college baseball wagering. And now he's convinced some of the VEASAN crew to kind of join him and do their broadcast from Rocco's. So they've got some things. They got some different parties and just promotions that they're doing that he wants to let the folks, the LSU fans, making a trip up. Let's know about it. Charlie and I sitting this one out. We got too much going on. But anyway, the thing is that they're going to be hunkered down at Rocco's. He's even providing transportation, shuttles to Iowa to make bets. Complimentary shuttles.
Okay. Pretty good. Nice little jump across the river. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Is he bringing them some extra Jell-O? They may need extra Jell-O this week.
Charlie, if they had enough Jell-O, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, they had to outsource some of the making of it. I think a couple years.
Okay.
They were bringing in outside.
Well, if LSU makes a run, the reinforcements will come.
Yeah.
We know that there'll be a nice contingency there from jump, but if they get to the championship series, then the cavalry comes, and then you bring a guy like Graves as your hammer, and boom, away we go.
Right.
So.
Well, we got a full field now. Murray State punching their ticket for the first time.
Another upset.
With a 5-4 win over Duke. Tell me if you thought, and I watched the whole game, tell me if you thought what I was thinking. Murray State gets 2 in the first, but they leave the bases loaded. They had the bases loaded with 1 out for the 7-hole hitter, who is their leading RBI guy.
Yeah, I thought they were very, very conservative and not setting that guy on the double.
Yes. And they leave the bases loaded.
It wasn't just 5 base runners. It's 5 hits. Homer, double, single, single, single.
Yeah.
I mean, there were no hit batsmen, ball forward. No, it was 5 hits in the first. What, we on pace to get 45 hits?
Right.
I mean, come on.
And I thought when they left the bases loaded, I said, man, you know what? That's going to come back and bite them. Because at that point, I expected this game to be 13-12, 14-11 type game.
Yes.
You've had 39 runs scored in the series in the first 2 games, okay? So pitcher's not getting any better.
Right.
I expected a much, much higher scoring game than 5-4, and especially when Murray State comes out and hits like that. So when Duke answered with 1 in the bottom of I'm like, you know what? Murray State's going to lose this game by a run or 2, and they're going to look back on that first inning. And then somehow the pitching settled in for most of the middle part of the game, and the runs were hard to come by until it got late.
Including the starter for Duke, who was making his first start of the season. The lefty. I mean, again, the first 5 guys, first 5 out of 6 guys you face get hits, and then they were stuck. They got 1 more hit like the next 4 innings.
Yeah.
So he was the biggest one to just settle down, and a lot of coaches wouldn't be patient enough, with that guy. But
he had the bullpen up in the first inning, and didn't make a move, but he had him up. Yeah.
Got through it, and settled down, and and just and then it was the runs, and it wasn't like they were constantly pressuring too. I mean, the pitch had just out of nowhere settled this thing down. I agree.
And then so you get to the end, and they get 2 runs in the 8th, take a 5-3 lead, and I thought Kellen Graham comes in. He's Murray State's closer, and he had thrown 48 pitches yesterday. Okay. And I was watching him throw at the beginning, first batter, very sharp. And then 2 or 3 batters later, boy, the body language was he was working hard. It was a max effort type thing. these are high leverage pitches. You're in a 2-run game and it ended up being a 1-run game. You're in there at the end. You just threw. I'm pretty sure he hasn't thrown that amount of pitches in a 2-day span, being their closer. But this is what they ask of you in the postseason, and he gutted it out and got the outs that he needed to. And at the end, it looked like he was just like a runner trying to just get to the finish line, and he was just gutting
Murray
it out.
State goes.
Yeah.
Finished last 3 innings. I couldn't disagree more.
2 2/3.
I mean, he looks
The
like
velocity was down 3 to 4 miles an hour.
okay with that
Yeah.
maybe, but his body language, no, he looked like he was cool as a cucumber. He didn't look like he
No, I
was.
didn't think he was rattled. I thought he was.
Well,
working
I'm just
hard.
telling you. You know,
Okay.
you gave your.
We see different things.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, to a point where more than usual, I'm like, man, this guy is just like he's throwing it. He just looked like he was not stressed or not bothered by the situation, the stage. He was just unbelievably cool and composed. And even when he got the third out, he's come by everybody's, and he just like barely flips his glove up. Maybe he was conserving his energy. Maybe. Okay.
Well,
but Charlie, this is college baseball. You trying to punch your ticket to we see way more emotion in these spots than normal. I thought he was unbelievably cool.
he was working from behind in counts. Greg Olson was doing the game, the former Orioles closer, and he made this comment. I mean, literally right before he said it was either 3-0 or 3-1 count, and he said, "Look, I'm an old closer. You got to throw the ball over the plate and make them beat you." And the very next pitch, was the only run he gave up, which was the homer that made it 5-4. And he goes, and the play-by-play guy says, "Well, he got him there, okay." But Olson, who was a terrific closer for the Orioles back in the day, said, "You know what? This guy he's got the right mentality, but he's fallen behind." And I thought that's why he was laboring a little bit. But he only walked one. He only walked one, but he was working behind in counts, and that's what I'm
like
saying.
1-0. I mean, he wasn't like 3-0 on a lot of bet 3-1.
He was 3-1
One
on the
guy at 3 innings.
I thought he gutted it out.
I
thought he was.
To your point, I think that there was a couple of times where it was like 1-0 in a count, and he threw one out the zone, and they went fishing. Okay,
yeah.
all right, but I mean, it was never like, no, at this stage, man, you're gonna take a one walk in that stage and on the. Man, give me give me that all day.
Absolutely.
And I don't how many 3-ball counts? It wasn't many, Charlie.
I didn't count them.
It wasn't many. How many pitches did he throw in 3 innings?
47. 47. That's
15 and 15.67.
In 2 2/3 innings, he threw 47 pitches. The day after 48 pitches, that's hard. I mean, for guys that haven't been asked to do that. Now let's get to the end when there's a double, one out, runner at first base, bottom of the 9th inning, Duke's at the plate. Ground ball is shortstop. They throw to second base. Runner goes in. He makes contact with the infielder. They call a double play. They go back. Now, the double play is called on the field. Murray State dog piles. Okay, they're going to the College World Series.
Well, they called them out on the field.
They did. Then they got to go look at it, which I knew they were going to go look at it. And you look at it, clean slide. Guy goes in. He goes in straight. He is right in the baseline. The infielder does get his foot clipped, but it's a completely legal slide. The delay wasn't all that long, maybe, 3 minutes, but it was the 3 minutes when they were dogpiling. Now, imagine you're Murray State. You think you're going to College World Series, and you got a dog pile on the field at Duke, and they say, hang on, you got to go get this last out again. And you know how hard that last out can be. And the tying runs at first, and the winning runs at the plate. And if you serve one up, you hang one curveball, you go from the dog pile to the other side. They didn't do it. Graham, give him credit, man. He came back and got the last Graham Kellum. He got the last out.
A weak dribbler at first.
That was that's a heck of an ask when you let the emotion out and you're like, hang on, come on back. We got to do this again.
Yeah, I was thinking of Guy Morris getting the Gatorade bath before the Devery Henderson catch from Marcus Randall.
Yeah.
The Bluegrass Miracle. I was thinking of Bebe Ogeron in College Station.
How about Derek Dooley?
Dooley was. That's all on Dooley. Dooley was the one that's all. Was that the Music City Bowl against North Carolina?
No, the T-Bob Abeck
Oh,
game.
here. Well,
he thought he had. They thought they had it won.
Well, half
everybody's
the
on the
stadium did
field.
too.
Yeah, everybody's on the
fielded
field.
8 phone calls in the post-game show. People pissed that we lost.
Yeah.
So
that. How long did that take before they finally ran the next play? 15 minutes.
It seemed like it. Maybe not that long, but probably longer. Yeah.
And then you got to go back out there and heck of a thing.
Yeah, Dooley's the only multiple offender on that. In Baton Rouge and also in Nashville in the Music City Bowl. So
if you saw Murray State, this guy, everybody likes to coach. Coach had his little boy out there last night.
Yeah.
And it's a good story.
Same thing. He was in Oxford too. He was running around. They just doing his thing. So
they showed pictures this morning on Twitter of Murray State's field, which seats generously 800, and he cuts his own grass. I thought about Roger Cador. We'd be out there. There's Roger on the little tractor dragging the infield. You can those guys are easy to root for. Those guys that work literally every angle of the program because they don't have the resources that the teams that they're going to be facing this
Funny
week.
Thing is, they lost most of their roster from last year, and he went out and got some guys. The kid that hit the tie-in home run from California was playing in California last year, but he went and hustled him.
Yeah,
found a spot for him, and so he's embraced it, and he doesn't have a whole lot of player budget. There's no doubt, and but he's hustling, and he's probably scored himself a higher, a stronger program position pretty soon.
Sure.
I would be shocked because this guy is, he's getting it done to get prices. What he's and now, we see, guys win one game in March Madness and they parlay it into a better job. So I would think that this guy's you got to look at him because his back-to-back years have been pretty good, and they had a good regular season. It wasn't like they were a super a Little Rock, they had a good season. Little Rock did not,
right?
And so. It's with the mid majors that that made a mark in this thing. Texas San Antonio won the Austin Regional without losing a game. Coastal Carolina and Murray State are in Omaha, and Cal Irvine was really good. They got to the Super, but not to the Super Regional Final.
Yeah.
But no, these are the ones. I just thought that with the pitcher, look. He may have been spent. I don't watch him, regularly. Know about his emotion. He just doesn't look at. He was compromised because he was pitching on shorter rest than usual. He hasn't probably been stressed like this, but he's going down with his best.
Yeah.
And he came in for a multi-inning save earlier. Was it? Did he get the save
yesterday?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So they brought him in again. I thought it was to start the 7th. There was one out in the 7th?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 2/3.
Yeah. So they he was going down with his best. This kid is, and he was. I'm sorry, he was as Yannick Sinner playing on the French Open final. I mean, these two guys they act like they don't even know. I don't know, they're in a library or something. I mean, these two guys were cool as a cat. I mean, very, very cool in the environment.
It was fun to watch last night, unless you're a Duke fan whose coach is going to be targeted
never
at
been
Virginia.
in? Oh, no, they have been like 61.
61, yeah.
That's tough.
He is going to be is targeted by Virginia, so they could have a coaching change.
They popped up for State, huh, too?
It did because he spent some time at State, but the Virginia. And that could end up affecting LSU because Josh, if he does get that job at Virginia, then Josh Jordan's name will certainly come up at Duke. He spent a good deal of time there with a great deal of success.
There you go.
We're here at Doe's Eat Place.
Doe's Eat Place, yes, indeed, on Government Street in the heart of Mid-City. And what we love about over here at Doe's and being on for lunch is our lunch menu. Exactly that. The lunch menu, which is available 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. And we just offer different menu items that aren't available. Well, we know when we come in here at night, start with the tamales, getting a big steak, hand-cut fries and some sides, and a cocktail or a glass of wine, and That's the way we do it. But our sandwiches, the club, the turkey, turkey ham, American cheese, all that good stuff on the homemade sourdough bun. Our burgers, cooked all kinds of different ways. Chicken sandwiches, grilled, fried, or blackened, or that hot chicken Nashville style that Max likes to get. Po' boys, we got the debris po' boy, the meatball po' boy, the black and blue po' boy, salads, and plate lunches like the spaghetti and meatballs, hamburger steak, the catfish platter, or the country fried steak that's as big as a Frisbee. There you go. So it is unbelievable. Generous portions, that would be an understatement over here at Dozy Place. Man, you haven't been over here for lunch. Lunches are picking up over here at Dozy. How about Donnie's here? We got him off the roof.
Nice.
Good to see Donnie over here today at Dozy Place. Come by and join us for lunch as well as we broadcast till 1 o'clock in the Crown Town Room.
Live at Doze, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and WorkboxLLC.com. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988. Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat. Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soups, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Today's show also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff done a great job for us over the years. So if you're ailing in some way, let them adjust you. An old injury that's flaring up on you, let them get you into a program that'll target your problem areas and get you to feeling better. Back pain, neck pain, shoulder soreness, things that are keeping you from getting around and maybe getting a good night's sleep. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. So, Jimmy, I got a question for you, and I'm pretty sure I know how you're going to start this, but I got a reason for asking this question. We kind of cut our teeth covering college baseball, covering college baseball in the 90s when there were a lot of what would be considered either mid-major or certainly not power conference teams that were at the height of the sport. Teams like Wichita State and Cal State Fullerton and
Maine was a regular
Maine was very good in the
Omaha.
80s and things like that. So now the talk is that are those programs are they extinct forever with the amount of NIL budget, the resources that the power conferences, particularly in this sport, the SEC and the ACC have? Is that done? Is Coastal Carolina the best candidate to be the new Cal State Fullerton? Because I consider Fullerton the best of those non-power league teams. They won multiple national championships. They did it with multiple coaches. I realize that Coastal does not have the resume that Cal State did at that time yet. But do they have the best chance of the non-power conference teams to be similar to that?
Probably. They got to hold on to their coach.
Well, so the reason I'm asking is this is the second coach, okay? Yeah, Gilmore was the coach that built this program, and now Kevin Schnall has taken over. He's a former player and coach, long-time coach as an assistant at Coastal Carolina. And so this is now the second coach that has taken him to the College World Series. While you think about it, let me run a couple of numbers by you. They have made the NCAA tournament 15 of the last 17 years. They have won 5 of the last 9 conference championships in 2 different leagues. They upgraded from the Big South to the Sun Belt. They've won 4 of the last 7 conference tournaments, and they have won 4 regional championships that's gotten them to the Super Regionals. This is now their second trip to the College World Series, and they won the doggone thing in what remains one of the great stories that you would, in your first trip ever to the College World Series, that you would win it. Because just about any coach, including Skip Bertman, would tell you getting experience up there before you finally win one is usually a prerequisite. But in Coastal's case, they got up there and got hot, and they won the whole thing.
Charlie, it's still they have some limitations. Texas San Antonio's got a shot. Mm-hmm. That's a big enrollment. That's there's some money that they can put in on there. Keep in mind the football stadium at Coastal holds 21,000. So you're not getting a whole lot of money, coming into your overall athletic department that you may be able to disperse, to the baseball. I would have to think that everybody loves a winner. So, we're kind of boosters and support, to try and get some player budget. But this guy is going to get scooped up. And he this might be his first year, but he's been there with
23 of the last 25
straight years now. He's been multiple times recognized as the assistant coach of the year, national assistant coach of the year.
Yes.
I mean, he's been around, and he's been a big part of, Coastal's success, even as an assistant. So and now you got to be not just that. Check out, they have 10. Their ballpark, their baseball park is traditionally, and their program traditionally has been a hitting-heavy program. They have 10 pitchers with a 3.03 ERA or less.
Yeah.
10.
That's an amazing stat in any league.
They had a game on a Sunday in the regional round where your pitching is spent. They won 1-0. East Carolina beat them 1-0. This is they went into and up. They've won 23 in a row. They're 26-4 in a top 10 league. I mean, this guy. The resume is done. He didn't need to get to Omaha to get noticed, but it beats you over the head if you're another athletic director. I'm going to get him. I mean, you don't think that the South Carolina athletic department notices what's going on in Conway?
There's no there's no question that
And that's
he's
fine.
48
that's
years
fine.
old.
The new AD that didn't hire Maneri, let's be patient. Give another year. We're just not in the business. ADs now with the player that we got to give money. We got to hustle money for the player payroll in football, in other sports. We're just a little bit more careful of paying coaches that much money not to coach. I think, and it's way overdue. But now they're forced to.
Plus the timing of it with the House settlement. Now you got to take that money again.
In
It's
all
a bad
due
year.
respect, who's got a brighter future? This coach or Maneri?
No, Maneri's not going to be
come
there.
on.
Be there long term. Even if he had been successful this
Charlie,
year,
you better get him before somebody else does.
he was not.
Okay.
I wonder if
South Carolina's got some support there. They've got a big time facility. They've got SEC money coming in. If South Carolina doesn't scoop that guy up, shame on them.
Or is he, because, and I only ask this question, I know what you're going to say, because he played there, because he has coached there for all but 3 years. He's 48 years old, and he has basically lived there since he was 18, since 1995.
Is he married?
I don't know.
Okay, probably. Okay,
I
maybe.
guess.
Does he have a girlfriend? Okay. Does he have kids? Okay.
I don't know.
Because I'm going to jog your memory to a story I've told you multiple times. Nick Saban's first staff at Alabama. They're on the road, and a longtime assistant who cut his teeth in the Catholic League, Burton Burns.
I know, yeah. I've heard the story. I know it.
And Burton comes home and says, Mama, I don't know if I can handle it with this guy. I don't know. Burton, how long we been doing this? Get used to it. And we making what now? Get used to it. This guy's going to turn down what South Carolina can throw at him?
Almost
way.
Nobody would.
No,
what I was going to ask you is, if his background was anything other than a Coastal Carolina lifer, I set this all up for a reason. Okay, is it certainly Augie Garrido had chances to go other places before he finally got fed up with the administration and left for Illinois for a couple of years. But is he the Mark Few of college baseball? Potentially. No. Okay. I don't know. I don't know the guy at all. All I know is he spent his entire life at Coastal Carolina. He's got him in the College World Series.
What is Gonzaga's ability to compete at the highest level?
Well, now, but not when Few started.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's been that way for a while.
20 years, but he's been there for 25.
Okay,
when he took the job.
I get it, Charlie,
okay.
but can they compete at the highest level? And they have been able to compete at the highest level for a long time.
Yeah.
Can Coastal Carolina do it?
That was my question at the beginning of it.
No, they can't. They have a 21,000-seat football stadium, Charlie.
They've had an awful lot of success in football, too, for a school with no facilities
at
and no
level,
budget.
man. They could compete at the highest level in football.
Not in football, no.
No, we're talking about Gonzaga compete at the highest. There's no restrictions to them. They should have won one or two by now. They had one that they got hosed by Carolina and the officials, okay? They have no restrictions on them. There's obviously restrictions there. Now, the thing is, and the guy's done it for long. He's paid his dues, man. I mean, I'm sorry.
And somebody may throw ridiculous money at him, and he may go. But I'm saying we've seen enough of these things. Rick Jones stayed at Tulane. Wayne Graham stayed at
Georgia
Rice.
Tech?
Huh?
Went to Georgia Tech.
Not after Tulane.
Or Georgia or Georgia Tech?
Rick Jones?
Yes. Yes, go check it out.
I thought he retired from Tulane.
No.
Okay, I'd forgotten about that. All right, Wayne Graham, Augie Garrido, Gene Stevenson. And now that's a little bit of a different era. He may leave. But of all of the mid-major teams.
Augie left. Augie left.
Augie left, and then he went back. But Augie left because they wouldn't give him, the right facility. He told us that story at Rufino's that day. That's why I asked at the beginning, are they capable of this type of run? Probably not sustainable every year, but here he is in the College World Series.
You can't build this roster like this, all the time.
More likely scenario.
Jones did retire.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Maybe he flirted with him and turned him down.
He did.
Yes. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, and we've seen some of these mid-major baseball coaches get real comfortable where they are and have a great deal of success. I don't know if this guy. This is his first year. but he's been there for forever, and that's a really, really good program, man. They're not just a one-off. You know, that 2000s.
Texas A&M. What are they waiting for to go get this guy?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that.
You go. What can there's
probably
not even,
because
that
this is his first year as a head coach.
That is a pocket knife versus a cannon fight.
Okay,
negotiations.
I can answer that.
Tell us your price.
Last year he was an assistant coach. Okay, this is his first year as a head coach.
I know.
Okay, so now
he's a long-time coach.
Now what's going to keep him from? Well, you never know if the assistants are going to make the transition. He did. So now next year at this time, I'm sure he will be fending off offers left and right. And yeah, you're right. South Carolina probably be the first one that comes calling after next year.
I think A&M's late already.
Well, I'm surprised that A&M's going with the same coach next year. I agree with you there. They let the players hire the coach, but
sometimes the coach, goes one more year, and man, it is all on everybody's radar, and everybody's made what's probably going to happen. You think A&M's going to be satisfied with their season next year?
They're not.
Is South Carolina going to be satisfied with their season next year? They're both of those teams probably looking for new coaches. You can play you could play y'all bid, start the bidding.
I'm not brimming with confidence over the A&M AD and his ability to hire coaches and get along with them, but
everybody knows this goes to Omaha.
Yeah,
you don't have to deep dive into college baseball to know that who's going to Omaha.
No, I don't mean that they're not going to take a look or even make him an offer. I'm saying, does this guy want to go to work for him? Nobody else seems to want to.
Guaranteed money, Charlie?
Well, if you got it at two places, why you got to go there? If South Carolina and A&M get into a bidding war.
Because A&M's got deeper pockets
they do.
than South Carolina.
They do.
Much deeper.
Yeah.
And so
and maybe that's enough.
And Coastal, I'm going to go this. I'm going to take all my money. If 4 years I fall on my face, guess what? Coastal will be fine taking me back.
I looked at this pretty good last night. There ain't no reason they can't be in the finals. None whatsoever. That they can't be in the finals this year.
Nobody has the pitching like these guys do.
No reason they can't be in the finals.
Nobody. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company. Servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, what you get when you call 296-0060. Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title.
Live at Doe's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Henniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games. Just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit Ruffino'sRestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
Andy, how you doing, my friend?
Jimmy, I am doing fantastic and looking forward to the start of the football season.
Well, that's you're kind of leading me into what I wanted to talk to you about, because you focus so much on football and you do this type of stuff and on the other major sports as well. But the summer sports, whether we had a the local kid, was a 5-foot putt away from winning a PGA event this past weekend. We got the Open that's happening. That starts in a couple of days. We got regular golf contributors and handicappers there. An all-timer in the French Open. And by the way, the Women's Classic featured the number 1 and 2 seeds and was a Rocky movie of sorts with all kinds of celebs there as well. And we got in Major League Baseball, and I know you concentrate, but does any, and college baseball is humongous down here in our market. Do you dabble into some of the summer sports, the the UFC, whatever it may be, that seems to get a little bit more juice in this time, in the summertime?
I want to live life, so I want to be able to spend some time doing things that are unrelated to sports and sports betting, so I can't get involved in everything. But to answer your question, yes, I do dabble somewhat probably more in the PGA, certainly in the major events or the high-profile events. A little bit in tennis as well. Don't do anything with the UFC. Really don't do much in boxing either. We'll do, obviously, Major League Baseball. Not really, but occasionally the WNBA. But for the most part, I stick to the major sports, and that consumes most of my time. There's only so much time you can do in a day, and I want to do as good a job I can with the sports that I'm really focused on. And so I have to make some decisions just not to do things, just like I don't get involved in the Korean baseball.
Well, that was the one thing
there's always something going on somewhere in the world 24 hours of the day. You can't do everything. Another thing that I don't get involved in is Canadian football. Just don't have the time.
Yeah, and that may be an issue with some handicappers, that they spread themselves a little too thin. Trying to do a wide range of them. But yeah, I think
you used to be able to do that a lot easier because we didn't have so much of the overlapping seasons. And the best example of that is the way college basketball has exploded over the last 25 years or so, where the season never started until the first week in December. Now it starts in the first week in November with a lot of those mini tournaments, although quite honestly, I think the first Friday after those first little games, you have 150 games being played. So the creeping of the seasons, the overlapping of the seasons, the increase in the number of teams that you have to follow, for example, in college football and college basketball, makes it a lot more difficult to do everything and devote as much time to it. And what I tell people is, if you find a sport that you really enjoy and that you're good at, there's nothing wrong with specializing. Why not? For example, let's say you're a specialist in Major League Baseball, and so basically you work from April through October. And then you can dabble if you want, but also have a life for 6 months.
You know, I've tried to, you know, whether it's the guys locally here at the Queen, like, you know, the staff there, you know, Cliff and Tommy and Andres and Scotty and those guys, you know, of course, Carl Johnson at the Borvage, to Jimmy Vaccaro and Chris Andrews at the South Point, Kaluch at the Rampart, Jeff Benson at Circa. I try to pick the brain of these guys. I like for them to give me a little peek. They can't tell me everything, but they like to get a little. I'm amazed, Charlie. This WNBA's got a little handle. I mean, it had. I mean, they say, well, the WNBA's been. It's been around for 2 years. You know, it's been around for how long? And I mean, we know the obvious, but still, I mean, they're betting it.
It gives you something in an off time of year. A lot of people don't like to bet Major League Baseball just because of the sheer volume of it. And, yeah, Caitlin Clark has put a lot of eyes on the league. So you watch one of her games, and, well, there's a game on before it or a game on after it. Put some action on it. You'll get interested.
It really does get it, too, right after the NBA is done, too. You know, they get little hoops, you know, a little bit of a major sport. But, yeah, I think that, you know, Charlie, you can also attest whether it's, you know, Wes Reynolds on golf or Matt Humans on college basketball or just everybody has a little bit of their corner of the store. You know, they could be diverse, but everybody has also Andy every Sunday.
There's also more eyes on women's college basketball than there've ever been. Okay.
Yes.
There are way more people watching
women's sports.
Yeah, and you can wager on women's college basketball now. You have been able to do that for several years. So you're watching that carry over a little bit.
We just saw the ULL transfer to Oklahoma. She got drafted in the new softball league. I mean, they're investing in the women's sports. There's no doubt. So anyway. But we got the U.S. Open going on. And Max, where's Rory McIlroy now? I mean, what is he?
Ireland.
Fourth choice, 12-1.
He's
right
going
behind Rahm.
No, I was joking because of his no-shows, you know, and some of this other stuff.
But, I mean, he's going from, 4 or 5 to 1 in the majors to 14, 15 to 1.
Yeah, 12 to 1 this week. Some books. Fourth choice behind John Rahm, Bryson, and Scotty.
Andy, have you started doing any NFL research or college football?
I've started to assemble all the information I need to prepare to do the research. I usually spend the month of June putting everything together as to how I want to plan out my July and August as far as getting ready for everything. Of course, I got the proxy things that I have to consider that's going to take some time away,
right.
But I try to plan those appointments so that I can get them all bunched together and not have to have something at 10 a.m., then noon, then 1:30, et cetera, and try and put everything together. Because I do spend probably a good 14 hours a day at least during the summer concentrating on getting ready for college and pro football. You got a couple of new college teams coming in at the FBS level this year, Missouri State and Delaware, that you have to learn a little bit about. And we've seen in recent years a number of these teams that have come up from the FBS level. I think James Madison may be the best example. Liberty has been an example. They have virtually immediately success. So you want to keep an eye on some of those teams because sometimes they'll be getting a lot of inflated numbers, and they don't necessarily need to be teams that made the playoffs last year in the FCS.
Yes, indeed. So I didn't know that two more. But they still, they're about to split them up a little bit. But I don't know. Hey, I don't know if do you follow the market for the Rookie of the Year in Major League Baseball?
I really don't.
Okay.
I don't get involved in making those kind of wagers. I mean, it just takes away from the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do something like that in the All-Star break when there's nothing going on.
Yep.
But then I get to devote basically the entire time to getting ready for football. since we're talking about the middle of July at that point, and at that point we're 2 weeks away from the start of the preseason. Not that I don't really bet the preseason, but I do use it to sort of really the most important part about preseason is basically keeping track of the injuries.
There you go. What have you looked at the schedules since they come out and gotten any angles as far as that's concerned? Of course, the obvious is Rodgers. It's official. He's going to quarterback the Steelers too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on that first Sunday of the season when he's at the Jets, and don't know what the line will be there. Of course, you got the Jets with a new coach, a defensive-minded coach, which was the last few years basically the strength of the Jets, although it did fade towards the end of the season last year. So I haven't really done the full analysis that I'm going to do. I do take a look at certain spot plays. For example, I think I may have mentioned it if we got around to it, the Vikings and the Bears on the opening week of the season. I kind of like the Bears in that game. I haven't taken a look to see what let me see if I can get it right now, what the line was. I know it was a little bit more than pick 'em in that one, but you got the Bears coming in with the second-year quarterback, and McCarthy going to be making his first start, so we really don't know. And of course, you have Johnson coming over now as coach of the Bears, and obviously faced the Vikings twice a year when he was coordinator over at Detroit. So I think there are some of those early season edges that I will be looking for. In fact, let me take a look. That is the opening night game, and I'm happy to see that the Bears opened 1.5-point favorites, and the game is down to pick in a number of places.
Yeah, the Bears are a public team. There is no doubt about that. It's a lot of Las Vegas business from the city of Chicago, and they go there and they bet their team.
And I'm likely going to go see that game when they're out here facing the Raiders at the end of September.
Charlie, you buying into the Bears? I mean, they did address their offensive line issues. They brought a lot of guys in. So Williams, got a year under his belt. I mean, even being his hit as much as he was, he's durable. I don't think he started 17 games.
That's what they have to work on. That's what the offense has to work on to keep them. Now, they did address it with the offensive line. Let's see it in action. But, yeah, he took way too many sacks, and that accumulates over the course of a season and shortens your career if you don't adjust.
I know who's going to get blamed if it doesn't, because the Bears, we scoff at these people. Well, they won the offseason. They did everything that they could as far as a player acquisition, and they changed all the players, as many players around him as they could, and they changed the coach. Okay, well, then it's on the quarterback then, fair or not fair.
Do you think he's going to have I think he's going to be improved. I don't see how he can't be, but is he going to be, good?
I think we're going to look at we saw the improvement out of Bryce Young last year. After a couple of stumbles at Carolina, why can't we see that out of Caleb Williams? I mean, we know he has talent, but coaching is so important. The instruction you get, the assistant coaches, etc. I mean, we've seen a lot of players go from one team to another or from one coach to another and dramatically improve. Baker Mayfield, the talent that he showed the last few years with Tampa Bay, he's had that talent all along. It just wasn't properly utilized.
I think it's reasonable to expect him to be somewhere in the second quadrant this year, somewhere between 9 and 16.
Ooh, as high as 9.
I would agree.
Well, we put him in quadrant. 9 would be way high. We like to put him in quadrants. I think it's a reasonable thing to get him some. No, do I expect him to be 9? No, probably closer to 14 or 13.
I'm thinking. Give me the 16 to 18 range. Is what I'm looking at, because 27th last year. He's going to have better protection. Problem is there was no protection required for situational awareness, which he showed 0 on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, that was pathetic. And, he's played way too many games. You've had way too many practices on, 2-minute and hurry-up offense to not know that the clock is running down and you're sitting there in the hut. That's
also partly on the coaching staff to remind him.
100%, Andy. But it's on him, too. Both.
But he's also playing with instincts. And there should be some of the players out there who could also alert him on the field.
Andy, since high school, he's worked on hurry-up drills. Since high school, he knows the situation.
But not with the kind of preparation and coaching you get at the professional level.
It would even more reason to have no excuse. No, there's no excuse for that. So when you do that, he's got some potential. I think he'll be improved.
You must have been on the Bears in that.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I actually hit the middle with him letting the clock go down, so it benefited me heavily. But
no, he would chalk up most of his losses to the Titans last year, not the Bears.
not at all. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything better. It was just, I'm sorry.
I'm going to excuse him as a rookie mistake that many, if not most, rookies make at one point during the course of a season, and horrible coaching that was evident throughout the entire season.
He had 12 starts under his belt at that time, I believe. So, I mean, no, I'm not. He's
still a rookie on a bad team.
I understand, but rookie, I don't care. You know, he's played way too many games. Way too many games to do that. We disagree. It's all right. You give him a pass. You're softer than me, Andy. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, in this case, yes. In other cases, I am more critical. But, the Eberflus factor. I mean, it just was everywhere last year.
And that's why he's out of a job. And that was there's more than one of those cases with him. Andy, thank you, man. Follow Andy on Twitter.
By the way, I would expect to see great improvement out of the Bears this year, because of all the positive adjustments that they made, in addition to getting Johnson. He's going to get better coaching this year.
We'll see. Yeah. We will see. All right, thank you, Andy. Follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive. K&M Automotive, that anything that goes, I mean, your engine light comes on. We got it taken care of. We'll figure out what's going on with it. Electronic work, transmission, tires, oil changes, AC service. Yes, AC right now. Your belt tires, whatever you need done on your vehicle. Take it into K&M Automotive. 8445 Segan Lane between Perkins and I-10. Closer to Perkins, right across the street, right across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery. Our hours are 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and all we want is a fair shake, an honest deal, not get upcharged for unnecessary work. That's what you're going to do when you go see Jason Payne at K&M Automotive. K&M Automotive is the only place I take my vehicle on Segan near Perkins.
Live at lunch from Doe's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Thunder Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Goldie Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in La Place and Plaquemine.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Annie from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Former LSU baseball player Grant Taylor headed to Chicago, joined the White Sox after a great start with Double-A Birmingham. Had an ERA of basically 1 in 15 games. He played only one season for LSU in 22. He had a really good freshman year, was a sophomore, eligible to be drafted, missed the entire 23 season with Tommy John surgery, and now has made a very, very quick ascent to the big leagues off that 23 team. Skeens Cruz and now Grant Taylor. Hour number 2, straight ahead from Doe's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC. The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Crozet, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Crozet exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call
872-323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org. WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class. I'll tell you what then, why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And we return here at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Come by and see us for lunch. We're in the Crown Town room here on a sunny and very hot day in Baton Rouge. It's a hot day Saturday, too.
Nice crowd here today.
Yeah, we
for
got
lunch.
a very nice crowd.
We're getting good crowds for lunch over here at Doe's, man. It's catching on. Got to come see what the lunch menu's all about, man. It's good stuff. Menu items available for lunch that are not available for dinner over here at Doe's.
Frisbee size.
Frisbee size. Yes, easy. I mean, that chicken fried steak I get a kick out of every time somebody orders it comes out, man. I'm like, holy moly. It's a generous portions, to say the least, over here at Doe's.
First class, we talked yesterday, obviously, a lot about LSU, and we did a little bit of that during the podcast we posted later today. But I want to talk about, there were a lot of superlatives in the super regional round to get these teams to Omaha. I thought some really good coaching moves, saw some really gutty performances. There were a few that I wanted to point out. Number one, Coastal Carolina going to, and we talked a little bit about them earlier today, going to beat Auburn. Auburn's top 5 RPI team at home. They won all 5 of their SEC series. That included series wins against Vanderbilt and LSU. In fact, they swept LSU. This is a really hard team to beat at home. They were 28-6. Coastal did something that nobody had done all season. They went into Auburn and won at Auburn, won a series. Arizona, I thought Chip Hale made a terrific decision. Seems obvious, watching on TV, seems obvious maybe sitting in the stands, but it's not obvious to coaches to say, listen, I got to make a move that's going to sacrifice something now to win the greater good. In the second inning of the first game, they're down 8-1. Says, nope, I'm done for today. I'm not burning any more of my big arms. You can beat me today however bad you want. I'm going to save my guys for the rest of the weekend. Again, it seems obvious, but some coaches will belabor the point. You'd be surprised. Well, they lost that game 18-2, but they won the series, came back and won a 2-run game on Saturday and a 1-run game on Sunday. Carolina was 29-7 at home. Oregon State, maybe one of the most dramatic comebacks of the entire super regional round. Late Friday night, they were down 4-1, and they're staring it down, man. You lose that game, and Jamie Arnold is waiting to pitch the next day, Oregon State could easily have found themselves eliminated, but they rallied for 4 runs. They won the game 5-4, and even though they lost to Arnold the next day, they advanced with a Game 3 win. Murray State, I think we spent the whole first segment talking about them. That was a tremendous win last night. Arkansas maybe had the toughest competition for any host site, with Tennessee coming in. They win one close game, then they win one blowout game. The blowout game, top 5 pick in the draft, Liam Doyle going there. Compromise from the week before? Absolutely. But you still got to beat him. Arkansas drilled them. UCLA held Texas San Antonio to 2 runs in 18 innings. Texas San Antonio was 9th in the nation this season in runs scored. They scored 2 in the first. Was it the first inning or the second inning? On
one in the first, one in the second, then
yeah.
16 scoreless.
16 scoreless. UCLA's pitching, and Louisville and Dan McDonnell. There was a time where Dan McDonnell was maybe the hottest name in the sport when Louisville had made 4 College World Series in 7 years, but they haven't been to Omaha since 2019, and 3 of the last 4 years they didn't even make the tournament. A lot of coaches might not have survived that, but McDonnell got them turned around, and they're back in Omaha this year. Very competitive series with Miami. Miami certainly had their chances, but Louisville prevailed. So, a lot of good stuff this weekend. Super regional round.
Louisville has, I think, been the most fortunate out of all those teams. So they go to Nashville, and they didn't play Vandy.
They did. They played them in the middle game.
The marble
game. They won 3-2.
They played them one time. So, and then they got beat by the 4 seed, who was close to beating them the first time. Wright State. Wright State.
That's it.
They beat them. I just thought Game 3, Miami. It's a Sunday game. Things really fell Louisville's way.
Yeah, that could have went either way.
You know, I don't have the box score in front of me, but I just thought that Miami had more scoring opportunities.
There wasn't a lot of scoring for Game 3. It was 3-2, and so yeah, I don't know how many they left on base, but it was they had their chances.
They had more chances than Louisville, but Louisville kind of managed to move on. So I think Louisville is kind of a compromised team a little bit. You know, they don't even have a top 16 seeding. I mean, they're hosting the Super.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a break, right there. So, because, Southern Miss had it. Southern Miss would have been hosting Louisville, had they taken care of business against Miami and Hattiesburg. And, how often can you say that? Because their program is, when they do host, they're going to be in that 13 to 16 type of range. It's going to be hard for Southern Miss in there with their schedule to get a top 8 national seed. So they, how many chances they're going to have to host a Super Regional. I think the last one that they hosted was the Ole Miss when they went in there twice. So that's it's still a very, very, very good program and all of it. But how many chances are they going to have to host a Super Regional? So
got it in this time.
Coastal is there's 23 in a row. It's 23 in a row. I mean,
no, again, if you question Coastal's schedule, and look, it's a reasonable question. Well, who they played, how they played, they did something that no SEC team could do.
I'm floored that UTSA was beaten as soundly as they were.
Or at least if they would have gotten beaten in high-scoring games. I could have bought a 10-8 loss a lot easier than a 2-0 loss.
They're switching venues, and that may have something to do with it. There's no doubt that Texas San Antonio's Park plays way more hitter-friendly than UCLA. UCLA is not a hit. I mean, it's a pitching park. I mean, of the 8 venues, got to be the most pitching-friendly park that they had this past weekend in a Super Regional. But I just Texas San Antonio's good. I mean, they're good. Their resume was damn close to Coastal. But Coastal now, and you look at the metrics now, number 3 RPI. Man, they go.
And usually we quit. Wow. We quit looking at RPI once the bracket is set. But it caught my attention that. Wait a minute, they're 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's ahead of them, and they're out. It's only Arkansas of the teams that are remain. I mean, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just kind of a tool that we.
But it's just another level of respect.
Yes, they are. Like I said, it is not going to surprise me.
And they were favored in Game 2 after Auburn loses that extra inning game when they fall behind. Was it 4-1, 5-1, 6, whatever it was, and they came back tied. It go to extra innings. They win it immediately in the top of the 10th. I don't know, man. It's something about a team that can win that many games in a row, and they're pitching the metrics. I mean, 10 pitchers with 3.03 ERA or less, and by eyeballs, it's got velocity and it's got movement. They got guys.
I remember.
How does Coastal Carolina get that?
Yeah, I remembered their park as being smaller, so I went and looked it up this morning.
Absolutely.
325 down the lines, 390 to straightaway center field, 360 to power alleys. That's not a big park at all. Now, I don't know exactly how the ball carries there or anything like that, but usually they've had big hitting teams. Well, that's not a big park that you're pitching in. Second class, good with a chance to be great. We talked about this for a minute yesterday, but I want to go a little bit deeper into it. What would every team, baseball team, like to add when you're going down the stretch? Major league teams, what do? They make a deal at the trade deadline. Maybe they call up a prospect that's tearing it up at AAA. Well, obviously college teams can't do that. They'd all like to have, you ask them one thing, what would you like to have? Man, you know what? I'd really like to have another lefty out of the pen. Doesn't matter how many you got. You can always use another lefty out of the pen. Well, LSU may have found another lefty out of the pen in Cooper Williams. Lightly raced through the first couple of months of the season. They kind of weaned him in slowly. He did really well. Didn't allow an earned run 2 months into the season. In the last month and change, they have gone to him in a few more what you call pressure situations. Brought him in against Tennessee, brought him in twice against A&M, brought him in against Arkansas. The results in all of those things, little taste, were not bad. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, they brought him into some really high leverage situations. Against Little Rock, he was asked to come in and hold Little Rock where they were to give LSU a chance to get back in it. He did. LSU didn't, but not his fault. 3 2/3 scoreless innings against them. Then in the game against West Virginia, when West Virginia had the momentum, game was 6-4, and they bring him in to kind of stem the tide and let the LSU bats get after West Virginia's bullpen. He throws 2 2/3 really strong innings here to give LSU a chance to widen the lead. He gave up the 1 home run, but other than that, he was really good. I had looked back at Zach Hess's numbers. I compared him to Hess yesterday. Hess had significantly more innings. I didn't remember that Zach Hess going into the postseason had quite as many innings as he did. Williams is at 19 2/3. Hess was at 50. Hess started 6 games, most of them midweek games, in that freshman season of his in 2017. But Hess in the postseason was lights out. Is Williams going to do that? Well, it would be a lot to ask him to do what Hess did in 17. But having him there as their, another prime lefty out of the bullpen, Jay Johnson's got to be really pleased with what he has done as they have ramped him up. They got him late in the recruiting process last year. Cooper Williams, been good, chance to be great. He'll have some shots in Omaha. We'll see. And no class. If you went to the game on Saturday, you're gonna agree with me here. The temperature in Baton Rouge was 91 degrees at first pitch. The heat index was in the triple digits throughout the afternoon. 76 degrees in Louisville, 72 degrees in Los Angeles. It was 85 degrees with no humidity in Corvallis. 82 in Chapel Hill, 82 in Fayetteville, 83 in Durham, was 88 in Auburn. Played in Los Angeles at night, played in Corvallis at night, played in Fayetteville late in the afternoon. Listen, Alec Buck Stadium is always going to be an advantage for this team. Community gets behind it, the fans get behind them. But you got to do a little, and I realize they're rowdier at night. But, man, there's a safety issue here. There were more people that went to the paramedics. There were more heat-related things. This is the same thing. They did this in football season last year when they put the UCLA game in the middle of the afternoon in September. This is for ESPN and the NCAA. It's hotter here than just about anywhere at this time of year that they might be playing baseball. Maybe Austin, Texas, maybe College Station, maybe Gainesville. But I just named all of them for you. This was the hottest place, and you put them in the middle of the day. Does somebody have to die? Does somebody have to completely collapse from a heat stroke and die before they say, you know what? Maybe at this time of year it would be best if at all possible. I'm not asking for any competitive advantage here for both teams and the fans that you not plug these things in the middle of the day. That's, I mean.
Who you blaming here?
The NCAA/ESPN.
No, it's ESPN.
Yeah.
NCAA can't. You gonna tell Scott how to run his restaurant here?
I'm not going to tell Scott how to run his
restaurant. Okay, so when he's paying us, no, we gonna listen to Scott. So it's ESPN. It's not the NCAA.
I'm not going to hold the NCAA faultless. I think if they came to ESPN and said, "Listen, we have a significant health risk here. We're not going to allow you to do that."
And the ESPN rep says, "Have you paid attention? How many people we've had to lay off? We are paying. We are doing what's in our best."
Well, then put the highest rated game in prime time then. You know, LSU's the highest rated team.
Give me that.
Okay.
Because they ain't worried about people passing out. I'm sorry,
No,
but they're
well-
not.
well, then I can make
okay?
a
They're running a
compelling
business.
argument. Yeah.
They're paying you. You can't dictate who's writing you a check. You can't do that.
No, I get that. But there is a compelling argument to be made that they would have
You
been
didn't say
better.
anything about it before it happened. You
They
said
would
it
have
after
been-
it happened.
We said it before. It was going to be damn hot. I didn't realize it was going to be quite that hot. It was arguably the hottest
the
game
SEC,
ever.
the LSU for the UCLA game, they played it to the SEC. Please try
Yes.
and do this for our part, okay?
Right.
And there's Auburn and Gainesville and some others can be pretty hot too.
College Station,
Okay,
yes,
yeah, you know,
absolutely.
yeah. But it looks like they're obliged. It looks like they're going to try to.
Yeah, they are now. Yeah.
Well, okay.
They
Well, I
are
mean,
now.
but-
I don't know if it's going to be that way forever. The UCLA game caught a lot of people's attention, and listen, it can be hot here in October too. I get it, but if at all possible, okay, try and give them a little bit of relief. You know, I think you got a safety issue here, having in June. Having games in the middle of the day when you don't absolutely have to. And if you want to blame ESPN 100%, that's fine. You're probably right on that. I'm going to lump the NCAA in with it because I think they've got at least a voice in this thing. But you're right. If ESPN says to hell with it.
Charlie,
You
the ESPN rep who's trying to draw, whose job is going to be evaluated on ratings, he's not going to be. Now, if you could tell me, hey, man, you know, we know that LSU baseball can generate. Put us in a prime time, which is also
where they're playing this week.
But you're going to have to throw them something besides. Hey, man, you know, they ain't worried. I'm sorry, and they're not.
Well, where they playing? What time they playing this week? 6 o'clock. They're playing a primetime game in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're the biggest draw this Saturday, you would have been the biggest draw last Saturday.
I thought that they would be the biggest draw last. I thought they would play. I mean, it was the 8 o'clock we were complaining about the week before, right?
I was surprised when they were at 1 o'clock. I can't remember them playing a 1 o'clock marble game in the new format recently.
We are on the same page there.
It's a big.
So I mean, because you do carry the big stick, and football too. You know your ratings. You know in time. So you've built that, and so you're not just going to just say. I mean, it's more of a draw to have night games in Tiger Stadium. It's not just us talking about it. Can you throw it in there as well? You might be able to, but it's hot. It was damn hot in Auburn. Those pitchers were sweating like nobody.
No, Auburn and LSU should have both been at night. It was 88 degrees in Auburn.
That
Auburn,
here.
They started 2.
Those cats couldn't, and they were effective. They just couldn't get out the fourth, fifth inning.
Yeah. No, Auburn should have been bumped down too. And let me say this as to Mr. Woodward or whoever is at Tiger Athletic Foundation that handles this stuff. Whenever your next project is done, okay, whatever capital improvement you're in the middle of right now, I know that they're talking about the new basketball arena and all that stuff, but you got to put it on the drawing board to get those metal bleachers out of down the sidelines, down the baselines, and in the outfield if you can, because it's brutal. I mean, it's brutal that you've got. I know they wanted to emulate the old box as much. They built the old box 85, 90 years ago, okay? You know, the metal bleachers were put in whenever they were put in. You got to get those things out, man. You got to go to something that gives your fans a little bit of comfort. Because when you ask them to go out there and sit in that heat on those metal bleachers, that's tough. That's tough. So
that's right.
Whatever
so many carry their seat cushions.
Yeah. So the next capital improvement really needs to be upgrading the seating at the box down the lines.
What you putting in?
I would tell you plastic chairback seats would be an improvement.
But you're not
maybe there's something better.
You're not facing. You know, you kind of got to turn a little bit.
The way the stadium faces, you're going to be in the sun. There's going to be a lot of it in the sun. You would think, well, you put an overhang. You really can't do that, especially where it's not going to do much good where the outfield is. Maybe a little bit, but try and help them out a little bit. I'm good at spending other people's money. I realize that would be a major expense, but put it on the drawing board at least. You know, it took them forever to move the bullpens. You built this stadium now 16 years ago. It's time to get the bleachers out of there.
Yeah, LSU is as big of a draw ratings-wise in college baseball. That was just, I think that's an outlier, Charlie. I mean, I was very surprised when it was 1 o'clock. They weren't the Tennessee, Arkansas was better, but that was 5.
Yeah.
That's still hot.
Yeah. It was in Fayetteville. I looked at 82 degrees.
Oh, well, it's. I
mean, the hot, but
no, you're going straight,
not
8 hours straight north.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's not good. But my point is, they were, I thought, for TV purposes. You worried about the weather right now. I'm talking TV because that's ultimately why they decided. I can see how it was more, but I was surprised that one of them wasn't in that primetime spot.
They put the 2 West Coast games in those spots. And neither one of those are what you would call big draws, even with the big L.A. market, but they don't pay attention to UCLA baseball.
Two people watch college baseball.
We're brought to you, first class, second class, no class, brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. The Climate Smart program that they are involved with, they're looking out for future generations of Louisiana farmers. That means methane emissions are reduced, water conservation is promoted, and, of course, they've been in business since the 1930s down in Crowley, Louisiana. So these are Louisiana farmers that were benefiting. No matter what your favorite flavor. Jimmy, your favorite is the parboiled rice. That is
great.
The newest installment at Supreme Rice.
Restaurant quality rice, man. It's a long grain rice. It's got all the nutrients of our brown rice as well. I mean, you get the best of both worlds. So high quality rice, and I thought I was just boiling it wrong some kind of way. No, I just didn't have the right rice, man. Long grain, thick, firm rice. Not a whole lot of residue when you kind of rinsing it off as well. Yes, I love that parboiled rice.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The live arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710. Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU. With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
A lot of conversation where game day was going to be and whether it would be, a little bit of LSU, Clemson, of course, Ohio State, Texas, and Lee Corso's alma mater, Tallahassee, as they host Alabama. It became official just now. They will be at the Horseshoe in Columbus, Texas, and Ohio State. They just did a recent composite of all the preseason rankings, and LSU, by the way, is number 8 preseason. So this is as good as anything, taking about 8 different preseason polls. Texas is number 1. Ohio State is number 2. I'm surprised at number 3, Penn State. We'll see about that. But Clemson 4, Georgia 5, Notre Dame 6, Oregon 7. So that is in LSU number 8, Alabama number 9. So number 1 versus number 2, probable matchup. If not, it'll be very close. First, Lee Corso's last game day will be in Columbus, Ohio. So speaking of the odds to win it all, we talked about it earlier, but again, Arkansas, these are at the Queen at the DraftKings outlet. Arkansas plus 195. LSU second choice at plus 230. Coastal third choice at plus 600. It's a lot of respect for the mid-major. Oregon State plus 650. UCLA plus 800. Arizona plus 14-1. Louisville 17-1. And Murray State now 50-1. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, and shutters. Including doors, whether you're searching for a unique entry door, elegant French doors, or a stylish sliding glass door looking out into your backyard, we offer a variety of materials, colors, and finishes to suit your taste. Beautify your home with a high-quality replacement door from Relief Windows. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, 288-8138. Going to Omaha, looking for something to do? Derek Stevens bringing a crew from Circa and Beeson. He'll be joining us when we come out and let us know what they all have going on. Live at lunch, live at Doe's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com. This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
No, he hasn't called yet.
He has not called?
No, he has not called.
All right,
yet.
let me text my guy just in case.
Minute 30.
Okay.
Change.
Service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Doe's Eat Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3...
He's on.
Okay, he's on. He's usually.
But don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Doe's Eat Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, so we made the announcement earlier. The first time since the early 90s, Charlie and I will not be in Omaha doing shows for when LSU advances to Omaha. But McCart Palmer will be there. He's doing a show for the Ameristar in Council Bluffs, so he'll be there the entire time. But plenty of you listening are going up to Omaha as we always do, and you're looking for something to do? I think Derek Stevens and his crew, who loves going to Omaha. Man, he ran in a short bull, befriended short bull up in Omaha. You know he's a man of the people, not just an advertisement. Derek Stevens from Circa joins us right now. Derek, thanks for coming on, man. How you been?
All good. How you doing, guys?
We're doing great, man. Thanks again for the hospitality, man. That was so much fun. LSU USC weekend in Vegas. The pool party was a big success, man, and got a lot of people to try to see what Stadium Swim was all about. Getting for the promotion. It was a lot of fun, man. We had a great time for Labor Day weekend for LSU USC.
Yeah, that was a great weekend in Las Vegas. Boy, I never saw as much yellow as I did that weekend. That was a whole lot of fun. I loved hanging out with you guys. That's for sure. I loved everybody you introduced me to was a great person. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that's what I expect I'm going to see in Omaha this weekend. I mean, it's going to be nonstop. I know you got your deal in Council Bluffs. We're going to be over at Rocco's trying to put up Jello shots and doing something with these. But boy, we look forward to seeing all these Tiger fans.
So tell us what's going on. I mean, got some of the Vison shows that are going to be going there. I know you've been to Omaha, and before we get to the Visa lineup, what do you like about when you go into Omaha for the college baseball? I know you're trying to grow it as well to try and get people interested in, in expanding the interest in betting college. Well, we've been doing it for a long time down here, so we're all about it.
Oh yeah. College baseball is a lot of fun. I think college baseball, as more people become aware of college baseball, which you need to have TV contracts for people to become aware, and that's gotten better the last 5 years or so, where you got every regional game available, every super, and now College World Series. The games are a lot of fun. They're fun to watch. They're fun to root on. They're fun to bet. And we really want to try to push, college baseball wagering. We think it's a great deal, and it also teaches a lot of people about a lot of names that are going to be coming up in the draft here, not too far down the road. So it's been a lot of fun for us for Circa Sports. We think we give the best odds out there when it comes to most sports, and college baseball is no different. I recommend everybody take a look at Circa Sports if you happen to be in a state where we're located. I think we have some pretty good numbers out there.
Hey, Derek, some people were talking. What are y'all limits during like the regular season for college baseball, and then when you get into postseason play, regionals, super regionals?
Well, the tough thing about college baseball during the regular season is that you really got to zero in on pitching, and you have to understand. You have to have some limited risk associated with how deep somebody's going to go. We treat Friday nights a little bit different than we treat other days. We try to have everybody in the top 25 listed on a Friday night, and we feel pretty comfortable on how that plays out. On other days of the week, it is different, and splits are a little bit different. College baseball splits are a little wider than what you're going to get in MLB, but that's because of of really some of the lack of the information that's out there. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. I mean, for us, this last year was a year where we posted more games than we ever have, probably like triple. So we just think this is a good growing sport. We're excited about really pushing it.
Hey, Derek, let us know when you get into Omaha and when the VEASAN shows will be broadcasting from Rocco's.
Yeah, we're gonna do our earlier show, which is Stormy Bonantoni and Jonathan Montalvo. They'll be doing their shows at their regular time, which is 9 o'clock out here, so 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Omaha time. That's a couple-hour show, and then we're going to have Follow the Money, Mitch Moss, Paul Howard. That goes on from 1 to 4, so that's 3 to 6 out in Omaha. So they'll be there for that, and we're doing the shows Thursday, we're doing the shows Friday, and then a special show on Saturday morning. Out there, we're based it all out of Rocco, so we're going to be. We set up a whole stage over there, so be easy for people that are going to the games to pop in and see some of those VEASAN celebrities.
What kind of parties you got going on?
Well, we're going to be posting up at Rocco's early in the morning. We're staying till late at night. We'll probably end up at the Blatt a little bit. We're going to be a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, and now we for people that want to go bet the games, you offering some shuttle transportation. Fill us in on that.
Yeah, you're going to be your stage is going to be in Council Bluffs. When you're at Schwab Park, you're not that far away from Iowa. We're Circa Sports is licensed in Iowa. So we're going to be taking people back and forth from Rocco's across the border. Now, I think that's only about 5 blocks away, so it's not too far. You can barely get a beer down from the time you go from Rocco's to Iowa, make your bets, and come on back. So we're going to have a lot of props available, a lot of things like that. So we're going to be going back and forth all day and all night.
Okay, what type of prop menu are you going to have? Because that's unusual for college baseball.
Well, we're really going to be focusing on the home run props. We got to stay away from strikeout props. There's too much volatility on the pitching side of things.
Okay.
But we're going to be doing home run props for every game.
There you go. I mean, that'll be fun. Charlie?
Yeah, and what do you think the impact will be? You got some teams here that are not used to be. Coastal Carolina hasn't been here in 8 or 9 years. We got Murray State here for the first time, Arizona for the first time in almost a decade, Louisville for the first time in 7 years. So you got some new blood. What kind of impact do you think that might have on people you're trying to introduce to this stuff?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, to think that there's 8 new teams coming in, I mean, it just goes to show you the volatility in college baseball. It also goes, you could talk a little bit about transfer portal, how that impacts things. But no, I'm excited. I mean, I was there last year and I had a great time. And then to see 8 new teams coming in, it should be terrific. I wasn't there when the year Coastal Carolina was there, but boy, I heard they traveled like crazy. I think with Murray State and Louisville, I expect them to have big crowds. Obviously, LSU is going to dominate as far as the crowd size goes. So, and then you throw Arkansas in. So, this is going to be I think a heavily visited destination. The hotel room rates certainly indicate that. I might have bit off more than I could chew when I said I put up 35 people, and then I saw the room rates after my assistant booked them all. I'm like, holy smoke!
I was about to say no. There's no breaking that.
They're proud of them.
No, yes. I mean, this is their event, no question. But maybe a little bit of a late arriving crowd for Arkansas and LSU, which we think will be the two main travel bases. LSU is going to come strong, and Arkansas is 8 hours closer too. So I mean, that's something that they're going to be. When LSU's won a ton of them, Arkansas's never won one. So they're still trying to break down that foul ball that was the 27th out in the national championship game a few years ago. But the thing is, Derek, also look, when we came in, it was 2 years ago, Charlie. They had the Roccos. Look now, Ole Miss set the record. And then, you have the old pinball machine. So, like, if you flip the machine, like LSU flipped it like 7 times from Ole Miss's record, okay? I mean, it was kind of embarrassing, the way they did it. So, the folks at Rocco's are very they're going to be fun. They're going to be well stocked with purple and gold Jello shots, I got to believe.
Oh, I believe so. I would say LSU's probably the favorite. I Jello shots. I would put them at a minus number. Everybody else is plus.
You can't have a big enough minus number to limit your liability on that. I saw the picture of the guy that updates the board when he put LSU up on the board when they won the Super Regional. He looked like a man whose June receipts just went through the ceiling.
Ole Miss set the record with like 18,000, and LSU beat it by over 50,000 with 68,888. So. There you go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Derek, we've been doing this. We've been trying to create interest, and we've doing specialty shows and podcasts on college baseball, handicapping and things like that. It is weird this year because very well what happened in March Madness. In March Madness, it was chalk city. I mean, the first 2 days, way more chalk covered than usual, and it stayed through the whole damn tournament because 4 number 1 seeds advanced. We flipped the script. You would see, like, of the 16 host sites, 13 or so are going to advance. I mean, it's like, 7 or 8. I mean, it's March Madness and May Madness have flipped, man. They flipped the script.
They really did. I think that's what added to some of the excitement here this year, both in the regional and supers. You're absolutely right. March Madness, there was no madness in that first week, and that was too bad. A lot of discussion about that. Well, was that because of the transfer portal, or was it because of NIL? It was a little bit different. But yeah, baseball's been great, and I expect nothing really different here when what we're going to see in Omaha.
So when at your sports book, there's no fun, or it's not even close. It's not up for debate. I've been there a bunch of times, and I love it, but. How do y'all position it? Win the regional, super regional, or does it turn College World Series? It's not going to, draw the audio against an NBA final or something like that. But how prominent do y'all have the games?
Oh no, we had super regionals. It was very, very prominent. Most games had audio at one of our locations or the other. No, it was a big time thing for us, and we saw a record amount of a sports betting handle. People wanted to see it, so we obviously have to show what people want to see, and we saw significant growth in sports betting handle this year for College World Series. So I was pretty happy with all that.
Okay, so you have seen an improvement. And how long you kind of been how long you been tracking this or trying to move it? I mean, it's strange for a guy from Michigan. Maybe it was Bakich in their run against Vanderbilt in the championship series to see some, because it's geographically. You know, I mean, it's just more popular in the South.
That's where the College World Series started, Jimmy.
I mean, you know,
Kalamazoo.
We didn't grow up on the canals. Don't freeze down here. We didn't grow up, ice skating on the canals. So I mean, it's just we're in college baseball, and it's not college hockey, but you have seen a growth, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think really for us, college baseball has been the sport that's seen the biggest increase in wagering, and I think a lot of that has to do with the accessibility to watching the games. I mean, it wasn't all that long ago. You could barely see all the games. I remember it was a big deal when Michigan, upset UCLA in that late game in a regional. That was a real big deal, because you couldn't get them all. But now every game's on, so that's what really impacts the interest level. We knew going in it was going to set a record because we saw during the regionals there was more interest, and that's where fans get to know teams, know managers, know the players. So we knew that was kind of what was going to happen going in.
Derek, we are going through with our Louisiana legislature something similar that I think you're facing right now in the state of Illinois with some of your interests, and that is the increased tax that is happening in the state of Illinois on sports gambling. In Louisiana, it was like 15%, and they were talking about going to like 50%. Now it looks like it's going to be some sort of compromise, but in anything where the businesses are taxed, it's usually filtered down to the consumer. Give us some insight, and and there has been some pushback by some of the consumers to where it's caused a pause in it with the Louisiana legislature. But give us some insight of what you're doing in Illinois and how it pertains and how it may affect guys like me and Charlie and the consumer.
Yeah, well, it definitely has a big impact. As a matter of fact, I just finished doing an interview with David Purdom with ESPN, and I said, with what Illinois did here, let's break down the clear-cut winners and the clear-cut losers, and then we'll have a little fun talking about the middle. So the clear-cut losers are the federal government, because the federal excise tax won't get paid anymore for people that decide to move offshore. So the federal government ends up losing on this deal. Let's also talk about the licensed operators. The licensed operators get hurt on the deal because they got to pay the tax, and the licensed operators are the ones who are going to lose business to offshore or illegal bookmakers. On the other side, who wins? Clearly, illegal bookmakers offshore are the big winners here because they're going to get more of the business. So now let's talk about the middle. How's the state going to do? Well, you could say they're going to make more, 50 cents more per bet, but it just comes down to how many bets end up being moved offshore. So as far as the state goes, I'm not sure the state's going to make that much more money because they're going to lose a lot of the overall revenue. On the bad side again, who else is going to lose is going to be the leagues. The leagues don't get paid anything from offshore bookmakers. They don't get paid anything from sweepstakes guys or from prediction market people or the corner bookmakers. So the leagues are out, federal government's out. So yeah, it's kind of a tough thing. So I'm not really sure I'm not really sure that I understand the goals of the politicians in Illinois, nor do I believe they really understand what their goals are going forward. And clearly, the Illinois consumer is going to get hurt on this deal. We saw FanDuel came out; they're putting a 50-cent fee per bet out there. Very soon, DraftKings will make their announcement. We're all going to have to make announcements. We're small, so I'm holding off. I'm counterpunching. I'm going to wait a little bit before making the call. We're not under a time deadline necessarily, but clearly, when you talk about a 50-cent fee to make a bet, that adds up to a whole lot when you're taking millions of bets a month out of the state of Illinois.
Derek, thanks for joining us today. Look, if you're headed up to Omaha, go check out Derek at Rocco's. Listen, he is approachable. I promise you this. I've seen him at the Long Bar plenty of times. I hung out with he and Nicole and watching some games. I mean, he is a true man of the people. He'd love to see you. So come introduce yourself. You see it, Derek. Thank you, man. Enjoy yourself. I know you will up in Omaha.
I will. Hey, great to talk to you, and we gotta make sure you guys are out here for a football contest sign-up weekend. We got to get you in the Circa Million, the Circa Survivor, and what I heard, you can put together a heck of a crew. Maybe we're going to get you in the Grandissimo this year.
The Grandissimo is amazing.
Yes, indeed.
Are you kidding me?
All right, Derek. Thank you, brother. We'll be in touch.
Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.
All right, that's Derek Stevens over at Circa. Go check him out over at Rocco's. Charlie and I staying home. Hunt's hunkered down. I talked to Hunt earlier today. He's doing all of his shows, I believe, at the Ameristar, where we did a lot of our shows last year as well. It's right across the river from Schwab Field. So, yes, Charlie.
No, just we got to get to a break. Want to remind you about the Thibodeau store and Father's Day coming up this Sunday.
Ethan.
Yeah, you still got an opportunity to get down there, get some of the Cypress furniture, get some of the fishing gear, the grills, the big green egg cookers, all of the accessories to your outdoor Cajun cooking. You can get them at the Thibodeau store, 900 St. Patrick Highway, and now the new website, thethibodeaustore.com. You can get on the website, hand tools, power tools, and if you don't know where to get Dad from either the Thibodeau store or the Pierre Part store, get them a gift card. They can go out and pick whatever they want, whether you're working in the garden, power tools, hand tools, and a lot of unique items at the Thibodeau store.
Oh, just go down there. Lynn said my dad loves grilling on his green egg. He's got the electric starter, the coal and stuff like that. Just give me some stuff. Bro, they got some stuff. They got gadgets. They got accessories. They got all kinds of cool things, man. Yes, indeed.
Live at Doe's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Whenever you're ready, bub.
All right, hold on. All right, it's rolling.
This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch from Los Reyes Mexican Grill, Wesley at Nicholson. We'll be talking more about the College World Series. Scott Rabelais joins us, plus Wes Reynolds will have his U.S. Open golf picks. Live at Lunch from Los Reyes, 11 a.m. Wednesday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The law, call us today, and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Annie Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soups, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, Their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit Rufino'sRestaurant.com. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and WorkboxLLC.com. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Thunder Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Virginia made it official just a little while ago, and they have hired Chris Pollard, the Duke head coach, as their new head coach, replacing Brian O'Connor, who went to Mississippi State. This is likely to impact LSU as multiple outlets. This is probably one of the worst-kept secrets in college baseball right now, that Josh Jordan, who is on the LSU staff, is by far the lead candidate to become the new head coach at Duke whenever LSU's season concludes. He spent a great deal of time there. He was the National Assistant Coach of the Year at Duke, and so likely to get his shot at a head coaching job as soon as LSU's season is over.
Took him 14 hours.
Yeah,
they eliminated.
This has really been done for a week. They were just waiting on Duke's season to end. Thanks to the folks here at Doe's Eat Place for being our host today. Tomorrow we're at Los Reyes Mexican Grill, Wesley at Nicholson, and we'll be talking U.S. Open golf as well as the College World Series tomorrow. For Jimmy Ott, for Max Gotro, Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Now everybody's been to Louis Cafe.
All right, you guys, y'all have a good one.
All right, Jordan.